I know
Okay, go ahead.
Today we're going to be talking about literature circles. This is something we haven't done before, but it's a way for us to enjoy reading and learning about literature. Now today we're going to start with an easy book. Then when we learn the skills we can go on to harder texts, and this could work for really any grade level. And I'm holding it upside down, but today we have Goodnight Moon in English and Buenas noches Luna. Okay, so we're going to read those together in a little bit, and Anna's going to help me with the Spanish, and we're going to go over those. But first, I want you just to understand what we're doing with the literature circles, okay? Literature circles are basically discussion groups where everybody has a role, and I will also explain the roles in just a minute. But we need to follow good rules of literature circles, okay? The first thing that we want to do when we discuss and have a literature circle is that everyone needs to participate. It's not fun if somebody's just sitting there being quiet and everybody else is doing all the talking, okay? So we need to take turns. Everybody needs to have a chance to talk. And we need to appreciate what everybody says. We need to say, you know, that's a good idea, or maybe I don't agree with you, but this is why, and we don't argue, okay? And then we need to provide praise to each other. If they have a good idea, we need to let them know that they're doing a good job working with the literature and making us understand the literature. Okay, does anybody have any questions about that? Yes, Kaylee. Yes, you may. And we also need to, does anybody have anything else they would like to add to this as a good rule for literature circles that I didn't cover? No? A question or anything to add about something? And we're going to watch a video in just a minute that shows some kids doing this very thing. So here's those rules if everybody wants to take a closer look. Okay. Today I'm going to assign your roles to you based on what I know of you as a student. But at other times I might let you choose your own role because everybody has a different job in the literature circle. Okay. Welcome back, Kaylee. You didn't really miss much. We were just going over the roles. Sometimes with a literature circle you might just draw a role randomly. Sometimes your teacher might assign it, or she might just let you choose. She or he might let you choose. So it varies. When you do a real literature circle, it works better to keep the same group for the entire book. So if you're covering something such as a long text like Romeo and Juliet or Harry Potter, you'd meet with the same group and your roles would change each time. Okay? And you usually will meet at least once a week, sometimes more often, 2 or 3 times a week. And basically the students, you guys, would be running your circle because in a bigger class there would be probably 5 groups. And the teacher's job is just to kind of make sure everybody's on track. But it's to give you the power of the reading and the learning. So your discussion director will run the circle and make sure that everybody has a turn. I'll go over in just a minute what that means. But basically it's for the kids to get together and talk about the text. Okay? So the first job I'm going to talk about, and I said the jobs would rotate, right? The jobs would rotate. But before I go any further, I forgot about our standards over here. These are the New York standards, and these are guidelines that help you know what you're supposed to know for your assessments and just for better learning. These are the core standards, and they're pretty much the same from 1st to 6th grade, and then they really correlate to 9th and 12th grade to make sure that everybody's on the same page for learning. And the first thing that we're going to, this is one of the reasons I love the literature circles because they incorporate so many of our standards and what we're trying to do to get kids ready for college and for the workplace. But the first thing literature circles will do, the students will read, write, listen, and speak for literary response and expression. So you're going to not only read, but you're going to be able to write about it, you're going to talk to your classmates about it, and you're going to respond to each other about it. Okay? The second thing that we're going to do is students will read, write, listen, and speak for critical analysis and evaluation. Now that's a big word, isn't it? Critical analysis, Kaylee. That means we're going to look at it as a reader that can think and interact with the text and figure out, does this make sense? Do I agree with this? What does this have to do with my real life? Okay? And look at how they write. Does the writer write clearly? Is it effective? Are they persuading me to think? So those are the kind of questions we're going to ask. Then we're going to look at students will read, write, listen, and speak for social interaction, because when you're working in these groups, you're learning how to get along with people. Is that something you need to know for a job, for a career later on? You think you need to be able to work with and get along with people, Ryan? Okay. And you guys are a little older, you know that in college and in workplaces you need to be able to ask people things and talk to them and present your case. Be able to say things politely even if you don't agree. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about these? And Joey, we're going to let you have yours in the Spanish so you can look those over as well, the standards. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You don't have to do that now, but you'll have those for later reference. Okay, I promised we'd go over the literature circle roles, and I will tell you what you're each doing at that time. The first role that we're going to talk about, and it's important that everybody knows, because if you were doing this another day, you would have to be that role. Okay? So it's important that everybody kind of understands what everybody's going to do. This is Kaylee's role. Kaylee is my artist today. It's the illustrator. Who knows what the illustrator does in the book? Can you tell me, Kaylee or Ryan? What does the illustrator do? Okay, who can help Ryan?
I think that you have to draw something that the book talk.
Exactly. They're the ones that do the pictures in the book. So sometimes it'll say pictures by or the illustrator. So Kaylee's.
I thought it was like what it was about.
Well, it's along the same lines, because the pictures do explain the story as well. So sometimes people will say this is an illustration of that idea, and they'll just talk about something in words. But this is actually pictures. Okay. So Kaylee's going to ask for reading, and then we're going to read it first, and then you're going to have a chance to look back over the book. But Kaylee's going to pick a picture that she wants to draw, and this does not mean she's going to copy out of here, although she can get ideas from here. But if as she's reading, she thinks of something that gets an image in her mind, a picture, because words do that, it's good writing, she can draw her own picture, and then she's going to explain it to our group to say why it relates to this story. Okay, so that's Miss Kaylee's job. Okay. We have the vocabulary enricher too. This is Joey's job. He's going to find Spanish and English words for us and from the text, and he's going to explain them to us. Okay?
Okay.
Using a dictionary, and then you show us the sentences. Miss Anna is going to be the discussion director. She's going to come up with questions for us about the text, and she's going to provide her own answers, but she's not going to tell us his answers first. She's going to see what you guys have to think, and she's got the lead job today. So the discussion director is a very important job. She's going to make sure that the discussion group keeps going and that everybody has a chance to talk. Now today I'm going to probably help her a little bit more than I might after you guys have learned these skills. I'd step back and let her take the role, or whoever's the discussion director. And Ryan, you're going to be passage master, is that right? Okay, Ryan's job is to...
That's not me.
That's not the one? Okay. Summarizer? Putting it into your own words? Okay. I'll explain the passage master to you in just a minute. But the summarizer is going to take what we read, and he's going to put it in his own words, almost as if somebody said, hey, Ryan, what do you think about that book? And Ryan's going to tell back to us what that is, but he's going to write it out on the paper. Okay? So it's going to be in his own words, which is an important skill to be able to take the author's words and retell it. Okay, and our cameraman, I'm not sure which one he wants to do, but I'll go ahead and explain both of these. Cameraman.
You can just give me one of them.
Okay. We have the connector. I think this might be a good one for you. The connector finds a connection from the story to something that he's maybe read somewhere else or seen in a movie, or maybe it's happened to a friend. Now, this one is a children's book, because we're going to start with something kind of basic and build the skills. But I'm sure that there's something that relates to everybody, because everybody's had the, we hope, would have had the chance to be told goodnight by somebody that they love. And that's, well, not to give it away, I don't want to give it away yet, so we'll wait till we get to the book. But you find some way that you relate to that story, and you write about it, and you tell it to us, and then you get other people in the group to relate to it too. And usually when one person starts remembering something, then it triggers something, you know, oh yeah, I remember staying at my grandma's, and she told me good night.
The connections, the feelings?
Sort of the feelings, but how it would relate to how it relates to you, or maybe even current events. Like some of our other texts, there might be more connection to things that are happening in the world, especially when you
Talking about like a relation about the story and something for real life.
Right.
Or,
What comes to my mind is maybe Romeo and Juliet.
oh yeah.
That's
Yes,
an
okay.
old story,
Yes.
but those things still happen. Teenagers fall in love. Their parents say, no, you can't be together, and so something bad might happen. That's something that still happens today. So you could write about some connection to that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then the last one, which I don't think we have anyone to do this today, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it, and sometimes your groups don't come out even, but this is the Passage Master. The Passage Master finds passages that they think are cool, unique, a particular piece of dialogue, speaking, that they think is really good with that. So they would notate those. When they're reading, they might put a sticky note on it, or if they're allowed to highlight in their book, they'd highlight it. And then they'd go back and they'd say, okay, which ones do I want to choose? And they would write down a couple of words, the page number, and why they chose that. Then when they come to the discussion group, they would share those passages with their group. And I didn't say that. Today we're going to do our worksheets together because it's the first time, but normally this would be something you'd go home and do your homework and then come back to class and meet with your discussion group. And it is important that you have rules for what if somebody didn't do their homework. What do you think should happen, Ryan, if somebody came to a discussion group not prepared? What do you think we should do? You think they should get to do it, or do you think maybe, what do you think?
They should get another week off to do it.
Get another week off,
I know,
but not get to participate, because this is usually kids like this. So maybe they
yeah.
have to go somewhere else and do it and then come.
That's why I like go to like a special room to do it.
That sounds like a great idea. So they could get the opportunity to do their work and not get a 0, and then when they were ready, they could come maybe the next time.
Yeah, because they maybe would have forgot.
They might have forgotten, that's true. Yeah. And same thing if they were absent, maybe give them a chance to make it up in another room. Okay. Any questions
Like,
about
or a corner.
in a corner? Yeah, maybe a study corner or something, okay, so we can help them out.
Or a table.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Special table.
That sounds like a real good idea. Does anybody have any other questions about these roles? As to what to do? Okay. Well, we're going to turn the videotape off right now so that we can watch a video about literature circles, and that link will be provided for everyone viewing this tape as well. But we're going to turn off the tape while we watch it, and then we'll get back to our literature circles.